while back, I met Mark, who retired at age 62. He was proud of his savings and really excited to finally be free. And on paper, everything looked great. But here's where the problem came in. Mark had no real plan for what came next. He played more golf, of course. He traveled a little. And within a year, he found himself restless, almost bored. He told me, I thought retirement was just about having the money. I didn't realize I needed a vision for how I was going to spend my days. Now let's contrast that with another client, Linda. She retired the same year with a similar amount saved, but she had mapped out her retirement life. 3 trips she wanted to take each year, a volunteer project she cared deeply about, and time carved out for her grandkids while they still wanted to see her. She didn't just retire from something, she retired to something. Same age, both financially ready, but one drifted, the other thrived. That's the heart of this module. In module 1, we talked about redefining retirement, shifting from accumulation of funds to distribution of funds, which isn't always easy, and clearing up some of the most dangerous myths about retirement. The link for that last video is in the description below. Today, Module 2, we're digging into vision, designing the life you actually want to live. And here's the important part. Once you've built that vision, modules 3 and 4, which are coming, will connect it directly to your numbers. The expenses you'll face, the income streams you'll need, because without a vision, those numbers are just math problems. With a vision, they become a plan for the rest of your life. And I'll share why all this really matters after I quickly introduce myself. Welcome to the Retirement Guide channel. I am Daryl Rosen, the creator of the Securement Retirement Success Method. My goal is to help you retire with comfort and happiness. That's what I want for myself as I see my future, and certainly what I want for you. So let's get started. Why a vision matters. When people skip this very important step, 2 things usually happen. First, they drift. They retire, but instead of enjoying their newfound freedom, they feel lost because, work gave them structure, purpose, even identity. And when it's gone, they don't know how to replace it. That's why you hear stories of people who retire on a Friday, and by Monday, they're already questioning that decision. The second thing that happens is they make poor financial decisions because without a clear picture of what they want, they either spend too freely because everything feels like a yes, or they cut back too harshly because they're terrified of running out of money. Both of these paths rob people of joy, and this isn't just my humble opinion. Research backs it up. A study from Merrill Lynch found that only 37% of retirees said they had a clear sense of purpose once they stopped working. The ones who did reported higher satisfaction in almost every single category, from health to relationships to finances. Other studies show that retirees with a strong sense of purpose actually live a lot longer. The University of Michigan's Health and Retirement Study found that those with a high purpose were 2.4 times more likely to be alive a decade later compared to those drifting without direction. And then there's this from Gallup. They have found that similar results. Retirees with a strong sense of purpose are 2.5 times more likely to report that they're engaged and thriving. And here's one more study that really drives the point home. The Harvard study of adult development, the longest running study on happiness in the world, they found that the single strongest predictor of health and happiness in later life wasn't money. It wasn't career success. It was the quality of close relationships. Retirees who stay connected, who felt a sense of belonging, lived longer and reported far greater life satisfaction. So here is the truth. Money gives you options, but vision gives you direction. Without direction, even the best financial plan will feel empty. Section 2, the 5 pillars of retirement vision. When I sit down with my clients, I encourage them to think about the retirement vision through 5 main pillars. These pillars give shape to your big picture and ensure your plan is more than just numbers. Pillar 1, lifestyle. Where do you want to live? Will you downsize, stay put? Will you move closer to family, or even split your time between 2 places? Do you see yourself traveling often? Do you dream of a quiet home base. One couple I work with realized they didn't want to travel the world. They wanted to host big family gatherings in their backyard. That became the anchor for their entire plan. Pillar 2 is relationships. Who do you want to invest time in? Family, friends, community, or some sort of religious organization? Many people underestimate how much they'll miss the casual social interactions from work. And here's why this matters. The National Institute on Aging reports that social isolation increases the risk of heart attack and heart disease by 29% and stroke by 32%. Relationships aren't just nice extras, they're vital to your health and happiness. Pillar number 3, health. What's your plan for staying active and well? Exercise, nutrition, and preventative care, all these play huge roles. I remember my client Mary, who joined a hiking club at age 68. She got fit and added a whole new circle of friends. Health is not just about living longer, it's about living better. Pillar number 4, contribution. Do you want to give back? That could mean volunteering, mentoring, or even part-time work in a field that you love or something you want to learn about. I've seen clients light up when they find a way to share their skills. Contribution gives purpose, and purpose gives you energy. And pillar number 5 is growth. Retirement isn't the end of learning, it's a new beginning. And maybe you pick up painting, maybe you learn a new language, maybe you finally start that business you've always dreamed about. Here's some more research, this from the London School of Economics. They show that happiness often follows a U shape. It dips in midlife but rises after 50, especially for people who stay curious and keep growing. But here's the kicker. Each of these pillars connects directly to your financial plan. Lifestyle choices, healthcare, travel, hobbies, they all carry a price tag. That's why Module 3 on retirement expenses builds directly on this concept. Without a vision, your budget is just guesswork. With a vision, your budget reflects the life you actually want to live. Common traps without a vision. Here's what happens when you don't take the time or you skip the step of creating the vision. You retire from, not to. People focus so much on leaving their job that they don't think about what they're going towards. The result, often boredom, restlessness, sometimes even depression. The trap number 2, assuming free time equals happiness. At first, an empty calendar feels liberating, but over time, it can feel like a void. There's a study in the Journal of Happiness that found that retirees who filled their days with meaningful activity, whether it was volunteering or learning or spending time socially, they were significantly happier than those who didn't. Free time only feels good when it's purposeful. Here's a third trap, mismatched visions with your spouse or partner. This is one of the most common and painful traps I see. Retirement magnifies differences. Picture this, one spouse dreams of selling the house, traveling the world, and living out of a suitcase. The other wants to stay close to home, near grandkids, with roots firmly planted. I've seen marriages where both partners were financially secure, but one felt resentful because their dreams kept being put on hold. Another couple I remember, they quietly drifted into 2 separate retirements under the same roof. He spent money on trips she had no interest in taking, while she poured more money into a home he no longer wanted to maintain. These aren't just financial disagreements, they cut to the core of identity, freedom, and what home truly means. That's why creating a shared retirement vision is so important. It doesn't mean you'll agree on everything, of course not, but it forces the conversations now so you can compromise and design a plan that respects both people's dreams and goals. Because the truth is, a retirement vision isn't just about your future. It's about building a future you both get excited about. Tools to build your vision. So how do you actually build this vision? Here are 5 simple but powerful tools. Number 1, the perfect day exercise. Write down what your perfect retirement day looks like from morning coffee to bedtime. You'll learn more about your values in this one exercise than you think. Number 2, the perfect week. Go bigger. Map out 7 days. What's the rhythm between family, hobbies, rest, and travel? A single day can mislead you. A week shows you the full picture. Number 3, the bucket list brainstorm. Okay, don't censor yourself. Write down everything you'd love to do, destinations, experiences, hobbies. We'll cost these out in Module 3. Number 4, I've run into a lot of people who love vision boards. If you're visual, grab a few pictures, the lake house, the art class, the family reunion. Sometimes pictures can clarify what words simply cannot. And last but not least, we just referenced all this, the couples conversation. If you're married or partnered, compare your visions. Where do they match? Where do they differ? It's way better to discover that now than 6 months into retirement. I know these steps can seem a bit hokey, but I know that when I write things down, my vision becomes much clearer, so I suggest you do the same. Case study, Jim and Carol. Jim and Carol both retired at 65. On paper, they looked great. Healthy savings, no debt, Medicare just around the corner. Jim had done the financial prep, savings, investments, taxes. But when I asked him about his vision, he shrugged and he said, I'll figure it out. Carol, on the other hand, she had a much clearer picture. Winters in Florida, volunteer work at her church, and taking each grandchild on a special trip when they turned 10. In year 1, Jim tinkered around the house. He watched TV, played golf. He was restless. Carol dove right in. She started volunteering. She planned her first grandchild trip and set up her winter home. By year 3, Jim was bored. He even thought about going back to work, not for the money, but for the kind of structure that work could provide. Carol had already taken 2 grandkids on trips and built a circle of friends in Florida. By year 5, Jim told me, I feel like I retired too soon, but really, I think I retired without a plan. Carol had taken 4 of her grandkids on trips, deepened her volunteer work, and loved the rhythm of having winters where it was warm. By year 10, Jim's health started to decline. Without hobbies or purpose, he felt isolated. Carol was still thriving. Her vision gave her joy and resilience. The difference was not money, it was clarity. Bridging vision to costs. Now, here's where this all connects to module 3, which will be out shortly. Let's say your bucket list includes an African safari. That's not just a dream, but it's also an expense, maybe $15,000, $20,000 or more for a couple. Or maybe your vision is to help each grandchild with $10,000 for college. That's a line item. Or maybe your vision is to stay in your current home and finally upgrade the kitchen. Again, an expense. How you're going to pay for all this? That's what we're going to cover in Module 3. You can't build a financial plan without knowing what retirement will actually cost. And the costs come directly from the vision you build right here and hopefully, right now. Here's a quick wrap up and some action steps. A clear retirement vision prevents drifting and poor decisions. There are 5 pillars to think about: lifestyle, relationships, health, contribution, and growth. And finally, without a vision, you risk boredom, mismatched expectations, and even poor health. Here's the truth. Money gives you freedom. Vision gives you purpose. And when you have both, that's when retirement really works. If you like this video, you might like the next one right here. And thanks for watching.